Parents said my trans cousin could change in the shed, then watched us all walk out with her to the driveway. For a second nobody moved. You could actually hear the TV in the living room carrying on with some canned laughter while the words just hung there in the hallway like smoke. My cousin, her name's Lily, froze with her overnight bag halfway off her shoulder. Mum stood there blocking the hall to the bedrooms, arms folded over her, festive blessings, apron, eyes already doing that defensive, narrowing thing. Dad was behind her, leaning on the doorframe like a bouncer. I felt my fingers go numb around the Tupperware container I was holding. My little brother Sam coughed, once too loud. Then Lily swallowed, set her bag down very gently, and said, in this painfully calm voice, "I'm not getting changed in a shed." It was a Saturday afternoon in early December, the first proper family Christmas we were having since COVID and since Lily came out. I'm 27F, she's 25F, and we grew up more like sisters than cousins. Mum had sent out this big passive-aggressive group chat invite weeks ago. "Christmas at ours, dress nice, none of that casual stuff, we're doing family photos," with a string of Santa emojis that somehow made it worse. I knew this day was going to be a landmine field the minute Lily texted me privately. "Do you think they're going to be weird about, like, me?" And me, with my therapist-encouraged optimism and half a dozen Instagram infographics about allyship under my belt, replied, "I've talked to them. They say they'll be fine. I'll be there. We'll be okay." I really believe that, too, right up until 10 minutes before Shedgate. Lily showed up in a long green dress that made her look like some soft forest fairy, square neckline, little cap sleeves, stockings, ankle boots. Nothing wild. It was more modest than the bodycon thing my other cousin Chloe was wearing. She had her hair half up with little pearl clips, light makeup. Honestly, she looked beautiful in that trying not to make a fuss way. We were in the kitchen when she arrived. Mum had flour on her hands, Dad was carving ham. When Lily walked in, smiling nervously, my chest actually did this weird ache thing because she looked like herself. Not the cousin formerly known as Liam my parents kept pretending still existed, but Lily. My Lily. The one who used to draw dresses in the margins of her maths books and pretend they were warrior robes, so Dad wouldn't tease. "Hey," Lily said, hovering in the doorway. "Smells amazing." Mum's eyes did this up-down scan of her outfit. Her mouth didn't move for a beat, then twitched into a tight smile. "Oh. You're early," she said like that was a problem. "You could have, got changed here." Lily shifted her weight. "I'm already changed," she said. Mum looked over her shoulder at Dad, then back. "Well," she said, "we've got the kids' photos first, then the proper family ones. I wasn't expecting." She waved a vague hand at Lily's body, like the concept of woman was fog she could sweat away. My heart started beating in my ears. "Mom," I said warningly. That's when Dad chimed in, carving knife still in his hand. "We said smart casual," he said. "Jeans and a shirt would have been fine, mate." He still calls her mate, like it's neutral. It's not. Not anymore. Lily's jaw tightened, but she stayed polite. "This is smart casual," she said. "I wear dresses now, Uncle Mike." Mum's eyes flicked again toward the hallway, where the bathroom and spare room are. She stepped sideways so she was blocking that route completely, drying her hands on her apron like she was gearing up for a fight. "The thing is," she said, "your grandparents are coming, and there are kids, and you know how small the house is. I just think it might be more appropriate." She glanced at me, weirdly, like she wanted backup. "If you got changed somewhere else, you can use the shed, it's got that mirror on the back of the door. There's plenty of space." The shed. The spider-infested tin box in the backyard with the lawnmower, the paint tins, and a completely broken lock. The shed that floods if it rains longer than 15 minutes. I actually laughed, this half-disbelieving sound. "You're kidding," I said. Dad frowned. "There's nothing wrong with the shed," he said. "We cleared it out. For old bikes and rusty nails, Dad, I snapped. Not people. Lily set her bag down like it weighed 100 kilos. Her face had gone a little gray under the makeup. I'm not changing out there, she said quietly. I drove 2 hours in this. I'm comfortable. I'm not changing in a shed so Nan doesn't have to deal with the idea of me. Mum flushed. Don't be so dramatic, she snapped. It's just clothes. It's not that deep. You know what your grandfather's like. He'll have a heart attack. He's had 3. Sam muttered from behind me. Dad shot him a look. I felt something in me snap. Not loud, not dramatic. Just done. All the conversations I'd had with Mum in the lead-up, trying to explain pronouns, sending her links about trans people and suicide rates, gently pointing out that phase was not an acceptable word, condensed into this one burning point in my chest. You're embarrassed, I said slowly. Mum's head whipped around. I am not embarrassed, she said. I'm thinking of everyone. Did you ever think about how we feel? This is confusing for us. We weren't raised with all this. Lily let out this little breathy laugh that made my eyes sting. I think about how you feel every second of my life, she said. I contorted myself into knots for 23 years so you wouldn't have to feel confused. I almost died from it. I'm done worrying if Grandpa will get the vapors because I'm wearing a dress. Dad's face changed at. Almost died. He looked away. He hates when anyone mentions Lily's suicide attempt, like acknowledging it might make it contagious. Look, he said gruffly. We're just asking you to meet us halfway. Go chuck on some pants, for God's sake. It's not that hard. Where? Lily asked. In the shed? While everyone else uses the proper bathroom? Mum rolled her eyes. It's just a room, she said. My God! Your drama. That was it. Maybe it shouldn't have been the final straw after years of smaller cuts, but it was. You know that feeling when a scene suddenly goes third person in your mind, like you're watching yourself from above? That's what it felt like. I saw my mother, apron dusted with flour, mouth pinched, essentially telling my cousin, my almost sister, to change out back like a farmhand so the grandparents wouldn't have to endure the sight of her existing. I saw Lily standing there, shaking but holding herself together with sheer dignity. I saw myself in the middle, Tupperware in hand like a hostage gift. I put the container down on the bench with a soft clack. Nope, I said. My voice surprised me. It sounded calm, almost bored. We're not doing this. Mum stared at me like I'd slapped her. Excuse me? I'm not staying, I said. I turned to Lily. Do you want to go? She blinked, tears finally gathering at the corners of her eyes. Yeah, she whispered. I really don't want to be here. Behind me, a chair scraped. The sound of Sam standing up. Yeah, screw this, he said. I'm going with you. Chloe, who up until this point had been on the couch scrolling her phone, looked up, eyes wide. She glanced from Lily to Mom and Dad, then stood too, smoothing her dress. If Lily's changing in the shed, so am I, she said. Or actually, no. I'm not changing in the shed either. I'm leaving. For a heartbeat, the kitchen was frozen. Mum's mouth opened and closed like she'd lost her place in the script. Dad's hand tightened on the carving knife. You're overreacting, he said. All of you. I picked up Lily's bag and pressed it into her hand. Come on, I said. My own hands were shaking, but my voice stayed steady. Let's get out of here. And then we did the thing I never actually thought we'd do. We walked out. Past Mum's outraged sputtering, past Dad's. Don't you dare make a scene. Past the Christmas tree with the family ornaments. Past the little framed photo of me and Lily in matching Santa hats from when we were 7 and 5. Out the front door, down the path, straight to the driveway. It was hotter outside than I'd realized. The concrete was radiating heat through my sandals. The sky was that bleached blue it gets in December, The kind that makes you feel extra small. Lily stopped at the edge of the drive, bag strap cutting into her shoulder, and let out a breath that sounded like deflating. "Holy shit," she said. "Did we actually just do that?" "Yep," Sam said, already digging his keys out of his pocket. His little hatchback was parked across the street. "Shotgun not sitting next to Mom when she explodes via text?" Chloe barked a laugh that turned into a hiccup. She was already crying. "I left my phone inside," she said. "I don't even care." Lily just stood there, staring at the house like it was a stranger's. Her mascara hadn't smudged somehow, but her lipstick had a tiny crack in it from where she'd been biting her lip. "I feel like I'm going to throw up," she said. I slid my arm through hers. "We'll get in the car first," I said. "You can throw up into Sam's reusable shopping bag like a classy lady." She snorted, and that tiny bit of normalcy broke whatever shock spell we were under. We piled into the car. Lily in the front, me and Chloe in the back. As Sam started the engine, my phone buzzed 3 times in quick succession. From Mum. "Where are you? Come back inside now. You are ruining Christmas. I cannot believe you would embarrass us like that in front of family." I stared at the messages until the words blurred. Then I locked the phone and shoved it into my bag. Sam glanced at me in the rearview mirror. "You want to go to yours?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "We can order pizza or something." "Christmas pizza," Lily said faintly. "New tradition." Chloe turned around in her seat to look at the house one last time. We watched as my grandparents' car pulled up out front, blissfully unaware, Nan adjusting her Santa brooch in the passenger seat. "Should we have stayed?" Chloe whispered. "No," I said, surprising myself with how sure it sounded. "We shouldn't have." We didn't speak much on the drive. The radio played some overproduced version of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" that made me want to throw someone's Bluetooth speaker into a lake. Lily stared out the window, one hand clamped around her seatbelt like a lifeline. I watched the suburb roll by, the blow-up reindeer on someone's lawn, the kids running under sprinklers, the Bunnings sign in the distance, and felt this weird mix of nausea and relief. Like I'd just yanked a rotten tooth out with my bare hands. At my unit, the air felt cooler. Our building is one of those ugly 80s brick boxes with faded green awnings, but in that moment it looked like a sanctuary. We trooped up the stairs, Lily trailing one hand along the railing like she needed to touch something solid. Inside, my tiny lounge room suddenly had to hold 4 adults and their collective emotional baggage. Chloe flopped onto the couch and immediately called her boyfriend to pick her up later. Sam went straight for my freezer and found the emergency magnums. Lily stood in the doorway, still clutching her bag, and asked, in this small voice, "Can I use your bathroom?" "Of course," I said, instantly furious again that this even needed saying. "You can use anything in this flat. Keys, cutlery, oxygen. It's all yours." She smiled, a real one this time, and disappeared down the hall. I heard the lock click, then the muffled sound of her finally crying properly. The kind of crying you do when you're alone with the peeling paint and the shampoo bottles. Sam handed me a Magnum. "You okay?" he asked. "No," I said. "But also yes?" "I don't know. My body's all electric." "That's adrenaline," he said, very smug, like his 1 semester of psych made him an expert. Chloe muted her call. "Mum's going to actually combust," she said. "Like spontaneously human combust in the shape of an angel on the top of the tree." I sank down next to her, wrapper crunching in my hand. "She told Lily to change in the shed," I said. Now that I said it out loud away from the house, it sounded even worse. Like she was a dog. Or an engine. Or something you keep outside because it's messy. Chloe winced. "Yeah. That was bad." Sam frowned. "Do you think they even realize how bad?" "No," I said. "I think they think we're being dramatic and disloyal and ruining their day." They were, of course, furiously texting in the family chat. Chloe's phone had started lighting up too now that her boyfriend knew she was alive. Dad eventually sent one message. "Get your arses back here before your Nan sees those plates are empty." Nan. Always Nan. Everything is always. For Nan. Nan cannot handle conflict. Nan will die if she sees a tattoo. Nan will spontaneously disintegrate if exposed to the concept of a trans woman in a dress. Except I've had actual conversations with Nan on my own, and I don't think she's as fragile as they decide she is. She grew up during the war, for God's sake. She can handle a green dress. Lily emerged from the bathroom looking a little blotchy but steadier. She'd washed her face and reapplied her lipstick, because of course she had. Perfectionist. "Sorry," she said automatically, like crying in my bathroom was an offense. "Don't you dare apologize," I said. "Not in this house. We have a strict no apologizing for having feelings rule. It's in the lease." Her eyes glistened again, but she laughed. "I love you," she said. "I love you more," I said, because I'm competitive like that. We spent the next hour in this weird limbo. Ordering pizza, half-heartedly trying to play some dumb Christmas rom-com, refreshing our phones and then swearing and throwing them across the room when another guilt bomb came through. From Mum, 6 separate texts in a row, each more emotionally manipulative than the last. "How dare you walk out like that? Do you know how that looked? Your grandfather is asking where you are and I don't know what to tell him. This is exactly the kind of stunt that therapist of yours would encourage. I am your mother, and you owe me respect. If you don't come back for dinner, don't bother coming at all tomorrow." It's wild how quickly "we love you so much, it's Christmas" can turn into "I will disown you via Samsung Galaxy." I typed and retyped a dozen responses, deleting them all. The one I wanted to send was, "We walked out because you told Lily to change in a spider-infested box, Mum. You embarrass yourself." The one I almost sent was just, "We're safe." In the end, I sent nothing. Somewhere in my chest, the little kid who used to scurry to smooth things over was screaming at me to fix it. But the grown-up me, the one who'd spent 18 months in therapy learning that fixing it often meant ignoring my own pain, sat on her hands. Lily checked her phone once and flinched. "Mum's calling," she said, showing me the screen. Her mum is my mum's sister, and just as Catholic but, until today, a bit quieter about it. "I can't," she whispered. "You don't have to answer," I said. She watched it buzz itself to voicemail. When it stopped, she put the phone face down on the coffee table like it might bite. "I'm so tired," she said. "I'm tired of every family thing being a referendum on my existence. I just wanted to eat ham and play stupid trivia." "We can play stupid trivia here," Sam said. "Winner gets the good couch cushion." We did, actually. Chloe found some quiz app. We argued over whether Die Hard was a Christmas movie. It is. Lily wiped the floor with us on the Broadway category. For an hour, it almost felt like the Christmas Eve sleepovers we used to have as kids, when we'd haul all the spare blankets into the lounge and force ourselves to stay awake to catch Santa, and then all pass out by 11. But the fight with my parents was a weight in the corner of the room. It sat on my shoulders, in my teeth, buzzing under my skin. Every laugh felt slightly guilty. Every bite of pizza tasted like cardboard. Around 8, my phone buzzed again, but this time it was my dad, not Mum. "We need to talk." I knew what that meant. He wanted to be the reasonable one. The soft follow-up to Mum's nuclear strike. "Are you going to answer?" Lily asked. "I don't know," I said. Chloe huffed. "You shouldn't have to have a conference call after they treated you, us, like that," she said. "They should be begging us to come back, not the other way round." "They're not going to see it that way," I said. "In their heads, we ruined Christmas. They were just making a suggestion and we stormed off." Sam flopped back on the rug, staring at the ceiling. "Our family's so allergic to accountability it's almost impressive," he said. He wasn't wrong. I finally called Dad back the next morning. Not because I wanted to, but because if I didn't, Mum would show up at my unit unannounced, and I didn't have the emotional energy to make small talk with my neighbors about why a woman in an angel apron was sobbing in the stairwell. Dad answered on the first ring. No, hello. Just. So. Are you done sulking? I swallowed. I'm not sulking, I said. We left because you and Mum were being cruel to Lily. He snorted. Cruel? Don't be dramatic. We asked her to get changed somewhere private. It's our house. We're allowed to set rules in our own house. In the shed? I said, emphasizing the word. You told her she couldn't use the bathroom like everyone else. You told her to get changed in a tin box with spiders. If you can't hear how demeaning that is, I honestly don't know what to say. We weren't demeaning her. He shot back. We were thinking of your grandparents. Of the kids. If you're worried about kids seeing a woman in a dress, I don't know what to tell you, I said. What did you think was going to happen, Dad? That she'd infect them with femininity? He sighed, that long-suffering noise that means he's about to play the "I'm just old-fashioned" card. You know it's not like that, he said. It's confusing for them. One minute they have a cousin, next minute it's someone else. We're trying to keep the peace. You're not keeping the peace, I said. You're keeping up appearances. It's different. There was a long silence. I could almost hear him clenching his jaw. Your mother is very upset, he said finally. She cried herself to sleep. She doesn't understand why her children would walk out on her on Christmas. Guilt flared, hot and instinctive. I gripped the phone tighter. We didn't walk out on her, I said. We walked out on the idea that Lily is less deserving of basic respect than everyone else. Basic respect? He repeated. She's the one making everyone dance around her. She demands we call her by a different name, use different pronouns, change the way we've talked for 20 years, and if we slip up we get lectures. Why is it a big deal to use the right name? I asked quietly. You managed to adjust when Chloe got married and changed her last name. You had it on the Christmas cards the next year. That's different, he said. How? He didn't answer immediately. I could hear the TV in the background again, some morning show host yammering on about Boxing Day sales. It just is, he said. I don't expect you to understand. They've brainwashed you at that office of yours. All your woke friends. I almost laughed. My woke friends are mostly women in their 30s who collect houseplants and send each other TikToks of dogs. Nobody's brainwashed me, I said. I've just decided I'm not going to treat people like garbage because it makes old men more comfortable. That's enough, he snapped. I didn't call for a lecture. I paused, breathing slowly. Then why did you call? He went quiet. When he spoke again, his voice was smaller, almost embarrassed. Your Nana asked where Lily was, he said. We told her you'd all gone to a movie or something. She said she missed seeing her. That's all. He trailed off. I latched onto that. Did you tell her why Lily left? No, he said, instantly defensive. I'm not getting into all that with her. She's 90. She doesn't need that stress. Maybe she does, I said. Maybe you're underestimating her. She grew up on a farm, Dad. She's watched actual bombs fall from the sky. I think she can handle a conversation about gender more than you can. Don't you speak to me like that, he snapped. I'm still your father. There it was. The trump card. Respect your elders. Obey your parents. Even when they're wrong. I looked around my little kitchen, the plants on the windowsill, the magnet with my next therapy appointment date on the fridge. I thought about Lily sitting in my bathroom yesterday, leaning on my washing machine, trying to make her breathing quiet enough that I couldn't hear it. I thought about the way her shoulders had loosened when she realized we were walking out with her. The way she texted me later. Thank you for choosing me. Nobody's ever done that before. And I realized something that made my stomach flip. I didn't actually care if my dad thought I was disrespectful anymore. I cared more about being someone my cousin felt safe around than someone my father found easy to manage. I love you, I said, and I meant it, frustratingly. But I'm not bringing Lily back into that house unless you and Mum apologize to her. Like, actually apologize. Not sorry you were upset. Sorry for what you did. He scoffed. You're dreaming. Then I guess we're not coming over for a while, I said. I'm not going to watch you treat her like an embarrassment. I won't be a part of it. You choose them over your own mother? He demanded. Lily is my family too, I said. And right now, she's the one you're hurting. He exhaled sharply. You'll regret this, he said and hung up. I stared at the silent phone, heart pounding, and waited for the familiar wave of "Oh God, I've done something terrible" to crash over me. It didn't. Not in the old way. There was still fear, sure. And sadness. But underneath it, this strange, quiet certainty. I did the right thing. That afternoon, Lily came over again. This time with overnight stuff. Mom told me I was making everything about me, she said as she set her bag down. She said I should have just worn pants and kept the peace. I told her I'd spent 23 years trying to keep the peace and it almost killed me. She hung up. I'm sorry, I said, pouring her a cup of tea. I had a similar greatest hits call with Dad. She curled up on my couch, one of my throw blankets around her shoulders even though it was 30 degrees. Do you ever feel like you're watching them drown in a puddle? She asked. Like the water's not even that deep, but they're thrashing around and refusing to stand up. Constantly, I said. We sat there with our stupid mismatched mugs, watching the sunlight move across my coffee table. I keep thinking, if they loved me properly they'd try harder, Lily said. And then I feel mean for thinking that. Because they do love me, in their way. They feed me, they gave me life, blah blah Catholic guilt. They can love you and still hurt you, I said. Both things can be true. Do you think I did the right thing? She asked. Walking out? I asked. She nodded. Yes, I said immediately. You chose yourself. You didn't shrink to make them comfortable. That's huge. She sniffed. Therapy speak, she said. Yeah, I said. Some of it stuck. Sorry. She smiled, just a little. Over the next few weeks, the family group chat was grim. Mum posted photos from second Christmas. A few days later, Nan and Pa smiling at the table, the ham, the grandkids in their party dresses. No sign of us, obviously. Under each picture, Mum added captions like, "Such a blessed day with family," in a way that felt like both a celebration and a weapon. Some aunts and uncles texted me privately. Auntie Claire, I don't agree with what your mum said, but maybe you shouldn't have walked out. It made a scene. Uncle Dave, we're all just trying our best, love. Your parents are from another generation. Cut them some slack. My reply each time. Her being from another generation doesn't make it okay to treat Lily like she's less than human. Not everyone was awful. One of my older cousins, Mark, who is usually quiet in family stuff, sent, "Hey. Just wanted to say I'm proud of you for standing up for Lil. I didn't know what to do in the moment. Wish I'd walked out too." And Nan, bless her impossible heart, called me one day out of the blue. "I heard there was some drama," she said, in that deceptively mild voice. "Your mother was very..." Edited in her description. Edited? I laughed. Yeah, that sounds about right. I may be old, but I'm not stupid, she said. I put two and two together. I know what Lily's going through. Maybe not the details, she added quickly, but I know what it's like to feel out of step with your family. I married your grandfather, didn't I? We both laughed at that. I could hear her knitting needles clicking in the background. I wanted to see Lily at Christmas, she said quietly. I missed her. My throat tightened. She miss you too, I said. Well, she said briskly, you tell her from me that she doesn't need to change in any shed to see her Nan. If she wants to come for a cuppa, my door's open. I've survived worse shocks than an ice frock. I had to sit down for that one. Tears pricked my eyes. I will, I said. I'll tell her. When I hung up, I forwarded the gist of the conversation to Lily. She replied with a single crying emoji and then, she called me Lily? She did, I wrote back. And she sounded very. Stuff your parents, I'll do what I want. About it. Icon, she replied. Lily went round there the next week. She wore a blue skirt and a cardigan, and Nan made her tea and lemon slice and pretended, very badly, that she hadn't been practicing her pronouns for days. When Lily came back to my place afterwards, she was glowing. She put her hand on mine and said, "You look lovely, love," Lily said. Like it was the most normal thing in the world. Then she asked if I was seeing anyone and told me to stay away from musicians. She says that to everyone, I said. She's right. It wasn't some grand generational conversion. Nan's still confused by they/them and thinks TikTok is the devil's radio. But she made room in her heart where my parents refused to, and that mattered. As for Mom and Dad, look, we're still in the weird, messy middle bit. They've calmed down enough to start sending me funny reels on Facebook again, which is their way of testing the waters. They haven't apologized properly. They've sent me variations of, "Sorry it got out of hand," and "Sorry we upset you," but never, "Sorry we treated Lily like she was dirty." I used to think I needed their full understanding to feel okay. That if I could just find the right article, the perfect TED Talk, the magic combination of words, they'd suddenly go, "Oh, trans people are valid. What were we thinking? Come here for a hug." Now I think I just need them to understand that there are consequences. That if they choose cruelty, they're choosing distance from me. From Sam. From Chloe. From Lily. Last week, Mum called to invite me to an early Easter lunch. At the end of the call, in a tiny voice, she said, "Is Lily coming?" I took a breath. "She will if she feels safe," I said. "That's up to you. We won't say anything," Mum said quickly. "It's not about what you won't say," I replied. "It's about what you will. Will you call her Lily? Will you let her use the bathroom? Will you tell people she's your niece without whispering?" She went quiet. "I don't know if I can do all that," she admitted. "Then she probably won't come," I said. "And I might not either. You're tearing this family apart," she whispered. "No," I said gently but firmly. "I'm refusing to hold it together with my body anymore. We're still in that standoff. Maybe one day they'll cross the bridge. Maybe they won't. In the meantime, Lily and I and the cousins who walked out have started our own small traditions. Queer Christmas, we call it, even though not all of us are queer. It's just shorthand for everyone here gets to exist without being told to hide. We eat too much, play dumb board games, argue about movies, cry a bit when someone mentions childhood. Then we go sit in the driveway and watch the sky and feel, for a few hours, like the family we wish we'd had. People sometimes say, "It's just clothes," about situations like this. As if fabric is neutral. As if telling a woman she can't wear a dress in the house but is welcome to change into something more palatable in a shed is not a message. It is just clothes, in one way. Cotton and thread. But it's also everything behind it. It's, "You're only allowed here if you pretend to be someone you're not." It's, "We care more about not upsetting bigots than about you." It's, "Your dignity is optional." Parents said my trans cousin could change in the shed, then watched us all walk out with her to the driveway. In that moment, with the sun beating down and the concrete burning through my sandals and my heart doing its best drum solo, I chose which side of the line I was on. Not as a hero. Not as some perfect ally. Just as a tired, messy, imperfect person who finally decided that solidarity meant standing up when it counts, not just reposting infographics. If you're reading this and you're where I was a few years ago, sitting quietly at the table while someone you love is slowly erased and doesn't get upset, this is your sign. The driveway is scary, but it's not empty. There are people out here who will walk with you,